Hey, what's up guys? Sermo11 here with my review of Kuroko's Basketball Season 3, Episode 66, What is Victory? This episode marks the end of the flashback, and there's one moment in this episode that's just freaking hilarious, and I'll get to that later. The problems of the Generation of Miracles continue, and I think I can sum up the entire flashback as them just being too good at basketball. They started getting bored with basketball and having issues with each other, and they tried to make it more exciting by competing against each other to get the most points in the game, but that also got boring to them. The episode starts off with the team racking 151 Pokemon opposed to 12 Pokemon by the other team, and, they're practically dominating the other team, and they're Pokemon masters of the first generation. So, Kuroko and Momoi, or Momo, I forgot, I think it's Momoi, are walking through the Sakura trees, and Momoi is starting to see their issues, or she's starting to, talk about them a little bit more. Her and Iomine aren't really hanging out as much, they're kind of like best friends, but she's in love with Kuroko. I thought that was a little weird situation. If they're always around each other, I figured they would be the ones in love, but who knows, maybe that's going to be something in the future, I don't know. We also learned that she doesn't really talk to the other members of the team, and I thought that was interesting. It's like she only talks to Iomine because, they're friends and whatever, but she only talks to the other members of the team when she has to give them information. And the team is still winning games, of course, and it just seems like they're no longer happy. If you're great in something and no one can challenge you, it's bound to become a bore or just a task that you have to do. And Momoi wants the team to be friends forever, and we know that's not going to happen because eventually they're going to have to separate because they're in middle school. Well, not technically, but I'll get into that later as well. Murasaki Bara and Iomine are discussing how boring the games become. The only ones to have given them a little bit of a challenge with Uncrowned Kings, the 5 Uncrowned Kings. And I don't see how that works because the Uncrowned Kings were never on the same team, so I guess their individual teams gave them some issues. But they're gone anyway since they're a year older. They're in high school now. And we go into another game with the Generation of Miracles talking about their points game. And I don't really see how this is being disrespectful to the other team or rude to the other team. I mean, they're going to lose anyway, so they might as, Generation of Miracles, they might as well have some fun with the game. And if you're in a position of power, you have to make your own fun. Kuroko is starting to notice these things more and more, and they're sort of a shock to him. And he calls them out on it. And what I really like about the character development is that even if Kisei participates in this game of getting points, he still has this nice personality. And Midorima isn't playing that game at all, and that's great. I really love that. The author knows what he's doing with these characters, and, certain characters wouldn't do that. They wouldn't participate in the points game, Kuroko, he can't really score points at this time in the series, in the flashback. He can't really score. He's more of a passer. And, Midorima, he just doesn't want to participate, and I like that, keeping his character like that. Kisei's still a nice guy, but he is participating in the points game. Was there anything else I wanted to cover on that? Kuroko, he shows more emotion in the flashbacks, which I like, because in the main story he's not really as emotional, and it feels more like Kagami's the main character. It's kind of sort of the same situation here. If they weren't focusing on Kuroko as much, and if they were focusing more on the games, you would think like the Generation of Miracles, like all of them were like the main character, or like the main group of main characters. But in this, we focus a little bit more on Kuroko. But like main story, Kagami definitely seems more of the main character type. He shines more than Kuroko, but that might have to do more with the whole light and shadow thing. So Saren sees Teiko, and Teiko just kind of gives off this presence. They're just 1 year apart, but they shouldn't really be that different in appearance anyway. And we get to see a little bit of Saren versus Kurosaki Daichi. Nothing too special except that Kuroko notices that they put a lot of heart into their basketball. And Teiko is being treated like a professional team with all the press that they're getting. People are taking pictures and everything when they walk by. And Kuroko's friend and his team make it, or what was his name? Ogiwara. Ogiwara and his team, they make it to the finals of this tournament. And my problem with this is just like sports animes in general have too many tournaments. Someone loses a tournament and it's supposed to be all deep and stuff. Like, yeah, Ogiwara and his team lost the tournament a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 episodes ago or something like that. And then now they're in another tournament. What was the point of them being all emotional about that if they were gonna make it anyway? It just shouldn't be that serious if you still have a chance. You know, it's just sports. And Kuroko requests to be put in the next game to go not against his friend. I guess, I don't know, to get more pumped up or whatever. And his friend even notices that Kuroko no longer smiles. They're just not happy anymore. And Kuroko was going in too hard in the game. He's running around and stuff, and he gets elbowed in the head. And he was like out cold. He's out of the game. Kuroko's friend comes to visit him. Ogiwara, I need to say Ogiwara. Ogiwara comes to visit him, and Akashi he's so disrespectful to people, but he's disrespectful in a nice way. Kuroko can't play in the finals, but what Akashi says to Ogiwara is just so messed up. He's like, the results will probably be the same, but I wish you good luck. That would have probably aggravated me or made me sad or something. And then Ogiwara asks Akashi if he has fun while playing basketball. We don't really get an answer. Kind of just goes to black. And Kuroko wakes up and he talks to Akashi for a bit. And the final game is about to start. And the team is getting bored of playing a game to get the most points. So they come up with another idea. And it's hilarious. Oh my god. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw this. Kuroko gets out of bed even though he's not supposed to. And they're like in the 4th quarter or something, and he's pretty much shocked by what he sees. The team is passing to each other. I'm not sure how much they did before, you know, minus Kuroko, of course, but they're passing to each other, and Kuroko just kind of notices that something's off. And the game is 111 or 111 to 9. And then Kuroko's friend wants to score the last shot, but he misses, and Murasaki Bada puts it in anyway. So the score is 111 to 11 or 11111, and it was so funny. They looked devastated. They looked devastated by it. Ogiwara, they showed the numbers in his reflecting in his eyes, and he was just like he was just so shocked and stuff. He was just like, oh man, mouth just opened up wide, just like wow. And Kuroko seems really shocked by this too, and he blames himself for this situation. And I think he said his friend would never forgive him at the beginning of the flashback. I don't get it. Yes, the team was playing around, but at the end of the day, they were having fun, you know. They tried to have fun because they no longer have fun at basketball. And Kuroko's talking to Akashi, and I love how Akashi is. He tells Kuroko that, you know, he only cared when it was about his friend and, you know, it affected him personally. He never spoke up when the other team when they were doing this to the other teams. And that's a great argument. You know, Kuroko only cares about his personal feelings. And I wouldn't say that specifically, but that's the only time he really kind of like spoke up about it. Because he did seem like kind of shocked by what the team was doing earlier and stuff. But still, this is the only time he spoke up when it affected him. Let's see. We get to see everyone's perspective on this. Kisei would have probably held back if Kuroko had actually said something. Murasaki Bada was bored of the points game anyway. Midorima, he still plays basketball how he wants, and I still love that. This guy's great. Aomine says that they can't go full strength because their opponents are too weak. They can't just play a game where everyone's happy. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Well, I guess if the game was close, like how some of the games have been in the series, like they're happy then, but when you're just kind of dominating the other team, you can't really be happy, and they can't be happy about that situation either. And the end result of this whole conversation is just Kuroko quitting basketball, and I still don't get it. Your team is just too strong. Why can't you understand that? That doesn't mean you have to quit basketball. So then he visits Ogiwara's school, and he learns that Ogiwara transferred and he also quit basketball. The game broke their hearts, but a member of the team tells Kuroko that he can see their team in Kuroko's eyes, and he wants them to continue to play basketball. And he's given his friend's old black wristband. And good on the author, because that's some pretty good detail considering this was shown very early in the series. I'm not sure if it was shown in the first episode, but it's shown very early in the series, like this whole black wristband. It's like, you don't really think about it that much, but like, what's the point of that? And the way they're acting about this, he's just like acting like Ogiwara's dead or something. I mean, he just quit basketball. This is why sports animes are too dramatic. I mean, he just transferred to another school. I hope it wasn't because of this game. And you're probably like, of course it wasn't. But people in my area have asked their parents to transfer schools, and it's worked for them. So who knows? I don't know. It's an anime. It's not real life. And the Generation of Miracles, you know, they're splitting up since middle school is over. And since Japan only has 3 years of high school, technically, I guess they would be going in as sophomores. That's the way I kind of look at it. Some high schools in America only have 3 years, while others have 4 years. Mine had 4 years, and I don't understand why they're going to different schools. Most of the people from my middle school went to my high school. And of course, you have the option to go to another school, but the next logical choice would be the closest school in the area. And maybe they live far away from each other, but that's not important. I mean, some of my friends went to different high schools because they live closer to them, so maybe that's the situation in this anime. Or maybe I'm just thinking about it too much. Akashi expects Kuroko to join the battle with the Generation of Miracles because they're going to have a battle with each other because they're all going to different teams. And then the flashback ends and Kagami is like, what was the point of that? And I mean, that kind of is true. The author is making fun of his own story, but the only thing that concerns the story right now is Akashi. And, you know, there being 2 of him. The other stuff was good, but it's not really important at this point. The little flashbacks here and there were good enough for the story. But it's cool that the author did a full flashback concerning the team and stuff. It makes the characters deeper. And it really does explain some of the problems they had. Or they have. So, I mean, that's cool. Kuroko keeps blaming himself for his friend quitting basketball. And it's not even his fault. He adds one more thing to the flashback, and that's that Akashi visited him on the graduation day and asked him about finding an answer. He didn't really find an answer, but he's no longer going to run away. And, you know, he's going to play in the war against the Generation of Miracles. And this game is probably going to be really long because the show has a lot of episodes left and there's only 1 game left. Unless they're going to end it early or add more to it, who knows. The extra series probably won't be adapted in the main anime. I don't even know if the extra series is over. It's been, I think the extra series started in December. So January, February, March, April, perhaps. I think it was monthly. I'm not sure if it was weekly. So if it was monthly, we would have gotten like 5 chapters at this point. Probably 6 coming up soon. If it was weekly, I don't know, I could possibly see that game like maybe getting to a conclusion, so maybe they're adapting that, but I don't think it'll be adapted in the main anime. I would expect an OVA concerning that. And I'm just excited to get into the, get back into the main story and see Rakuzan versus Saren. And I don't see how they can win this game, but they probably will because they're the main team, they're the main characters. I hope it's a good ride. Maybe Kuroko would get some closure with his friend. I don't really see that happening. I think we're kind of done with Ogiwara, but I don't know. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe. And if you'd like to see more, I have other videos on my channel, Facebook, Twitter, other stuff in the description, and I will see you guys later. Peace.